Welcome back. Now, Europe has experienced an all-time high for temperatures so far this year, and European ski resorts are among those most affected, with large areas of snow melting at a time when typically thousands would normally be taking to the slopes. Now, national records have been broken in 8 countries, with Warsaw in Poland experiencing 18.9 degrees centigrade on Sunday, while Bilbao in Spain reached 25.1 degrees, more than 10 degrees above average. Well, joining me now from the Val d'Isère ski resort in the French Alps is the managing director of the British Alpine Ski School, Steve Ricketts. Hello to you, Steve. Thank you for joining us. What difference are these warm temperatures making to the ski season this year?
Oh, hi, Sally. It depends where you are, really. There are different altitudes in the Alps, so it's affecting different areas differently. The resorts that are lower down are suffering quite heavily from the higher temperatures because they are lower down the mountain. The ones that are higher up, like Val d'Isère, for example, here, have got really good snow still because the temperature is cooler the further you go up the mountain. So today's a lovely day on the mountain. Unfortunately, I'm in the office this afternoon, but it's a lovely day on the mountain with some good snow.
I'm very pleased to hear that for your sake, Steve. But certainly some resorts that are lower down have had to close already for the season. Is there any sign that they may be able to reopen, or is that it?
No, it's a difficult one to answer because it's not just down to the weather. I mean, some of these smaller resorts and the lower resorts are struggling with trying to come back from all the financial loss they had during COVID and the high electricity prices. So everybody in the ski industry is trying to do what they can to get by with the higher electricity prices and power prices by doing things like running lifts a little bit slower, running less lifts. But the resorts that are lower down where they have to make more snow, which is another financial commitment, it's really difficult for them. So it's not so much about recovery if the weather gets better, which we think it will do over the next few weeks. It's more about that financial impact that they've had. So the ones that won't be able to reopen will be more about they don't have the finances to run the lifts and make new snow and keep all the facilities open. I think that'll be a bigger problem than the weather this winter.
And of course, the Alps have been affected. Is it the same across the board with the Pyrenees and the Dolomites? Are all countries experiencing the same thing?
No, not at all. It's probably a European thing because if you look in the States now, parts of the States are experiencing very high volumes of snow. In Scandinavia, there's a cold snap at the moment and they're experiencing high levels of snow. It's a little bit luck hit and miss with the weather. The highs that have been hanging over the Alps have been the problem. So they created these record temperatures and warm temperatures, which say at the lower altitudes create problems with the snow. And as you can see there, grass coming through. But that's just on the lower slopes. If you can get above 1,800 meters in Europe, it's not that different to a normal winter at the higher levels. It's just the lower levels that really are affected in that way. But the States are getting plenty of snow, Scandinavia plenty of snow. I think Europe's due some luck really over the next month or so with the weather shifts and maybe get some low temperatures and a bit more snow coming in.
Of course, sadly, Steve, you can't really rely on luck when it comes to science. How concerned are you about the future of European skiing with temperatures getting warmer?
Yeah, we do see the changes, the climate changes. We get such things, we get big snowstorms that are followed by rainstorms. Now, they were very rare in the past and they've become very, very common. And that makes it difficult then to build up the snow through the years. So we've all got to do our bit for climate change and try to fix that. But it has been an ongoing thing. The ski industry has been learning to cope with this for a very long time. Snow cannons coming in the mid to late 80s where we had a really sparse drought of snow in the ski resorts in those times. And the learning more how to piste better, keep the snow longer. And these are things we're having to do. As the general public, we're starting to look that the most successful resorts will be the ones that are higher up. So when we start planning our holidays, you need to be looking at how high the slopes are of the resort you're going to, or even how high the resort itself is. But usually something that's 1,400 meters and above is faring fairly well in the normal ski season, and sort of altitudes of about 1,600 to 1,800 meters are the ones that will probably survive the climate change for a few more decades to come.
As you say, if you have the infrastructure to make your own snow, you can stay open, but snow cannon are energy intensive. This isn't a sustainable solution long term, is it?
It's not more moving snow around or pushing snow further down the hill. So you're getting some of the things that's happening in the climate change at the moment is some of the snowstorms are heavier, and you get a lot of snow higher up, and it can be pushed down. So one of the ways of sustaining that is to look more at moving snow from different parts of the mountain to where you want it, rather than the buildup of snow that the resorts have done in the past, sort of pre-season, which cost tens and hundreds of thousands of pounds, even euros, to build up that snow to get a good base. So the sustainability is going to be about altitude.
And just briefly, before I let you go, Steve, January is normally one of the coldest months. If temperatures are so warm now, what does that mean for the rest of the season?
Well, again, it's the build-up of snow. What we're expecting temperatures to get colder looking at the forecast. And we never try to forecast too far ahead, but temperatures are going to get colder and the snow should build up as the season goes through, and we should have more or less, not a normal one, but you can never really tell. We might get some big snowfalls coming on. What will happen throughout the season is those low slopes won't get a really good base. So again, the low slopes that are lower down will tend to melt earlier in the season. So we might get an earlier melt than we normally do on the lower slopes. So again, it's about staying a little bit higher.
Okay, Steve Ricketts, we really appreciate your insight today. Have a good season. Thanks so much.
You too. Thank you very much, Sally.
Now, for the first time ever, all of the top 10 songs in the end-of-year official singles chart were by British artists. At the same time, the UK's recorded music consumption